Welcome to Mitchell ELF Air and Sound Center 3. Ta-da! Here we have our outline taped to our handy-dandy lid so you can refer to it as you need it. One thing that this outline has highlighted is volunteer information and pre-ELF Day. This center is going to talk about air pollution and air everywhere. Is it dirty? Do we care? So most people think that air pollution is something that only occurs outside. But is it possible to have indoor pollution as well? It certainly is. So a lot of times we talk to the kids about how they clean things and how we clean our air and how we clean the house, clean our teeth. And it's easy with surface areas, you know, things that are outside and exterior. Even brushing our teeth, to clean our teeth, we brush our teeth, but you can't hardly brush your lungs. So on this center, we're going to talk about dirty air, and we're going to talk about that dirty air is really everywhere and what makes those contaminants and pollutants. So before your ELF Day, 3 to 5 days before your ELF Day, you're going to want to come to this bin and find your class Ziploc bag. And in each Ziploc bag, we have the class teacher name and the number of students. And then we have little note cards. These are going to be our homemade pollution collectors. So what you're going to do, you need to put your teacher name and the date on here. You could have all the kids do that with a Sharpie. And again, you're going to do this 3 to 5 days before your ELF Day. So you're going to need to coordinate with your teacher when you can come in and do this. And it's going to probably take you, realistically, 20 minutes, maybe 15 to 20 minutes, depending on the age of the kids. So they have their card, they put their teacher's name on it, and the date. They don't put their own name on it because trying to find your own card is going to be a nightmare with all these kids that are hanging out these pollution catchers. So once they have their name and the date, or the teacher name and the date on, get a little thing of Vaseline, take a small dab of it, and smear it on the card. Now, once it's smeared on there, you want to make sure it's nice and even, and you take these outside, and you're going to hang them somewhere on the school property. I would try to keep them all together in a very similar, close area. There's good fences behind Mrs. Husky and Mrs. Sun's room over by the retention pond. There's also the whole line of fence by the recess by the playgrounds. So anyway, so you want to do this 3 to 5 days before ELF, and you want the kids to do it with you so that they can see how clean their card is, and then they're going to notice the difference in 3 to 5 days. Okay, so that's the pre-ELF Day warm-up. Now, if you have any questions about that, you could certainly email us at mitchellelf@gmail.com. Okay, so the next thing, when you're in your ELF Day, you're going to go through your introduction that's on your outline, and it's going to talk about pollutants in our air. You're going to want the kids to define air pollution. We're going to want to talk about the causes of air pollution. And then we're going to discover that while our air looks clean outside and inside, it's full of particulate. One thing I didn't say about the little cards is you might want to hang a couple at your own home, and you might also want to hang a couple inside the school. So keep that in mind when you're hanging some outside, inside, and we're going to compare them. Okay, so then on ELF Day, you're going to gather some scissors, and there might be some in here, or there might be some in the kids' desks. You only need, 6 or 7 pairs, depending on the size of your center. And you're going to go outside and you're going to collect the pollution catchers. Now, this is up to you when you want your timing for this, when you'd like to do this. You could talk about the things in this envelope first, and then go out and get the cards, or you can get the cards and then talk about the stuff in this envelope. This envelope just simply talks about our Denver air. We have a picture of the monitoring equipment and a man working there. We also have a clean air filter and a dirty air filter. That's after a 24-hour test. Now these tests, the air is vacuumed in through, so it's not just falling and gravitational and wind debris like we'll have, but you get an idea there. And then we also have pictures of a good air quality and a poor air quality day in Denver. So you'll see the brown cloud. And you could just talk to the kids about being aware of that stuff. So this is definitely something you want to do before you start looking at your samples, but maybe you want to go outside and collect them first, maybe not. It's up to you. So that'll be in this bin. And then also in this bin is going to be magnifying glasses and a clipboard. So we suggest that you maybe want to have the kids line them all up in order of, dirtiest to cleanest or whatever, and they can also look at them with the magnifying glasses and ooh and ah accordingly. Another thing that we don't have yet for this center that is coming from our good friend Sherry Swadberg, who brought No Idling Zone to Mitchell. She has a game for us that it's called the Punch Pollution Game, and it's a board game. The directions are here on the outline as well, and it's basically a board game like Monopoly or whatnot. They'll use popcorn seeds to signify pollution, and the one with the least amount of pollution, or the ones that remove the most pollution in their game, are the winners. So that's a game. So for sure you'd probably get to it in time. With the older grades, it depends on how long you spend looking at your samples. For the younger grades, you might not even get to the game, but there should be plenty of time. So that game will also be in the Center 3 bin. It's called the Punch Pollution Game, invented by a Mitchell parent. If you've got any questions about Center 3, oh, there's also a book. There's always books. This might be a good introduction, and it also shows some dirty air and clean air examples in here. So if there's any questions about your ELF day and Center 3 in particular, please email us at mitchellelf@gmail.com.